Marcus wiped the sweat from his brow as he adjusted the antenna tower on the edge of the mining colony. The twin suns of Zathara cast long shadows over the rocky terrain, and the wind carried a sharp metallic scent. It had been months since he had volunteered for this remote outpost far from Earth, and he was used to the quiet isolation. Yet even in this solitude, life on Zathara had a way of surprising him. A sudden flash in the sky caught his attention. A small craft, glowing faintly in the sunlight, spiraled down toward the jagged cliffs nearby. Marcus's instincts kicked in. He grabbed his tools and sprinted toward the crash site, heart pounding. The craft hit the ground with a heavy thud, throwing up a cloud of dust and small rocks. From the wreckage, a small figure emerged. Marcus blinked in disbelief. It was tiny, barely 3 feet tall, but its movements were quick, precise, and full of purpose. The creature had shimmering, scale-like skin that reflected the sun in shades of green and gold. Its eyes glowed like liquid amber, intense and intelligent. Marcus took a cautious step forward. "Hello?" he called, unsure if the alien could understand him. The small figure froze, then raised a crystalline weapon that glimmered in the light. A series of rapid clicks and whistles escaped its mouth. Marcus frowned, tapping the side of his translator implant. The device buzzed faintly, translating the alien language into words he could understand. "My name is Lyra," the tiny Huntress said, her voice urgent. "I need your strength. My people are in danger." Marcus stepped back slightly, confused. "My strength?" Lyra nodded vigorously. "I can fight, but I am too small. The Night Howler hunts my colony. Without human strength, I will fail. Will you help me?" Marcus hesitated. Lending his strength to an alien sounded like something out of a storybook. He had faced dangerous situations before, but nothing like this. He studied her small frame, noting the determination in her glowing eyes. Despite her size, she radiated confidence and bravery that seemed impossible to ignore. "Why me?" he asked cautiously. "You have power humans take for granted," Lyra replied. "Speed, strength, resilience. Together we can defeat the Night Howler. Alone, I will die, and so will my people." Marcus thought about the isolated colony, the quiet life he had built here, and the possibility of something greater than himself. He saw the desperation in Lyra's tiny frame and felt an unusual pull in his chest. Something about her courage, her determination, reminded him of the soldiers he had once served with on Earth, except this one was no taller than his knee. I'll do it," he said finally, surprising even himself. Lyra's eyes widened and she let out a sound of pure relief. "Thank you. You will not regret this." She activated a small device strapped to her arm. A faint hum filled the air as Marcus felt a strange warmth moving through him. It was as if his own muscles, his own strength were being transferred into her. Her tiny body began to glow softly, and he could feel the connection deep inside himself. Through this bond, Marcus could sense her thoughts, her intentions, and her movements. He realized he could guide her in real time, helping her avoid danger and strike with precision. At the same time, he felt the strain of sharing his power. It was unlike anything he had experienced before. Lyra took a deep breath, her small hands gripping the crystalline weapon tightly. "We must move. The Night Howler is near." Together they moved through the dense jungles of Zathara. Marcus followed through the projection of his senses, guiding her steps, warning her of traps and watching her incredible agility. She leapt from one towering fungus to another, dodging falling branches and sharp vines with human-level strength now flowing through her tiny muscles. "This way," Lyra called, sprinting toward a narrow canyon. Marcus could see the tracks of the Night Howler ahead, deep, clawed imprints in the soft soil, glowing faintly with bioluminescent residue. The predator was close and Marcus's heart raced. He had seen dangerous creatures in his time, but nothing like this. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath their feet. Marcus tensed as a shadow passed over them. The Night Howler appeared, its massive form taller than the tallest trees, covered in dark, shimmering scales that seemed to absorb the sunlight. Its glowing eyes scanned the terrain and its claws dug deep into the soil as it prowled forward. Lyra didn't hesitate. She crouched, her body coiled like a spring. Marcus guided her with his thoughts, warning her of each movement. She leapt forward, striking at the predator with her weapon. The Night Howler roared, a sound that shook the leaves and sent small animals scattering. It swiped at her, but Lyra dodged nimbly, using his strength to enhance her speed and power. Marcus could feel the predator's power, the force in its movements, and he realized just how dangerous this hunt would be. He watched in awe as Lyra adapted quickly, using the environment to her advantage, swinging from vines, ducking under branches, and striking at weak points in the night howler's armor-like scales. "This is incredible," Marcus muttered to himself. "She's unstoppable." For the first time, he truly understood the bond forming between them. Lyra's courage and intelligence, combined with human strength, created a force neither the Predator nor anyone else on Zathara could match. He felt a sense of pride mixed with responsibility. If she failed, the consequences would be devastating, not just for her, but for her entire colony. The night howler paused for a moment, analyzing her movements. Lyra pressed forward, every motion precise, every strike calculated. She was not just fighting, she was hunting. Marcus marveled at her instinct, her courage, and her determination. Though tiny, she was proving that size and appearance mattered little when strength of will and courage came into play. As the sun began to set, casting a reddish glow over the alien jungle, Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The night howler had not been defeated yet, and the hunt would push them both to their limits. But in that moment he felt a surge of hope. Together he and Lyra could face whatever dangers awaited them on Zathara. Lyra looked up at him, her glowing eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you for trusting me," she whispered, almost as if she could feel the bond as clearly as he did. Marcus nodded, a small smile on his face. "No, thank you. I think I've just met one of the bravest warriors I've ever known." The night crept in around them, full of unknown dangers, yet Marcus felt a strange calm. He had lent his strength to an alien huntress, and together, they would face the challenge ahead. The night howler awaited, and soon the real test of courage, skill, and trust would begin. The night had settled over the jungle, and the bioluminescent flora of Zathara cast an eerie glow over the dense forest. Marcus felt every movement of Lyra's body as if it were his own. The connection between them had strengthened since the first encounter with the night howler, and now he could sense her thoughts, her strategies, even her hesitation. Lyra crouched low on a twisted branch, her small frame almost invisible in the shimmering light. "It's close," she whispered through the translator. "I can feel its presence." Marcus nodded, guiding her steps mentally. He could feel the predator's massive limbs moving through the undergrowth. The ground vibrated slightly with each step, and Marcus realized the creature was circling them, searching. Suddenly, a branch snapped under a heavy paw. Lyra's eyes widened, and she leapt onto a nearby vine, swinging gracefully over a small ravine. The night howler's roar echoed through the trees as it lunged where she had just stood. Marcus's chest tightened as he felt the raw power of the beast, its strength dwarfing even his own. "You have to strike at its sides," Marcus guided, focusing on the weak points he could sense. Lyra adjusted her grip on her crystalline weapon and landed silently behind a large fern. With a burst of human-enhanced strength, she swung upward, striking one of the night howler's glowing marks. The predator growled in surprise, spinning toward her. Its eyes glowed like molten gold as it lunged. Lyra rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding the swipe of its massive claws. Marcus felt her muscles tense and release in perfect rhythm, a dance of precision and power. "They're not expecting this," he muttered. Lyra's combination of alien agility and human strength was unlike anything the night howler had encountered before. She struck again, this time more forcefully, and the predator stumbled back. Marcus could feel its confusion and anger, but also its intelligence. This was not a mindless beast. It was calculating, learning from each attack. Lyra crouched, scanning her surroundings. "We need to lead it to the cliffs," she said. "It's slower on the edge and we can trap it there." Marcus guided her through the jungle, warning of loose branches and uneven ground. She moved like a shadow, faster than any human could, yet precise in every motion. The night howler pursued, its roars shaking the leaves and sending small creatures scattering. They reached the cliffs just as the predator realized its prey was near. Lyra leapt onto a narrow rock ledge, her body glowing faintly with Marcus's strength. The night howler followed, misjudging the narrow edge. Marcus's heart pounded as he felt the predator's weight shift dangerously. "Now," Marcus shouted in his mind. Lyra pushed off with all her strength, landing perfectly on a higher ledge. The predator lost balance, nearly tumbling into the abyss below. Its roar turned into a frustrated growl as it recovered, shaking its massive head. Lyra's confidence grew with every move. It's strong, but we are stronger, she whispered. Marcus felt a surge of pride. Her courage, combined with human strength, was allowing her to do what no one thought possible. The night howler charged again, faster and more aggressive. Lyra dodged, using vines and rocks to redirect its momentum. Marcus could sense her thoughts, guiding her to exploit the predator's own weight and speed. Its right side is vulnerable when it lands, he instructed. Lyra nodded, leaping from a vine and striking the night howler's flank with all her power. The predator stumbled, roaring in pain. Marcus could feel every impact reverberate through their shared connection. The bond between them was growing stronger, a combination of trust, courage, and shared purpose. But the night howler was not defeated yet. It circled them, analyzing, planning, and striking with precision. Lyra ducked under a swipe and climbed a small cliff, breathing heavily but focused. Marcus felt her fatigue, yet her determination never wavered. "We can do this," he told her, not just guiding but encouraging. Lyra's amber eyes met his, and he saw understanding, respect, and unspoken trust. They were more than allies. They were partners in this dangerous hunt. Lyra crouched on the cliff edge, her crystalline weapon raised. The night howler approached, sensing victory. Marcus felt a thrill of fear and excitement. "Remember your training," he thought. "Use its momentum against it." As the predator lunged, Lyra sidestepped with incredible agility, striking its back legs with a powerful kick enhanced by Marcus's strength. The night howler roared in pain, stumbling toward the cliff's edge. Marcus felt the thrill of the hunt, the connection to the tiny alien warrior, and the satisfaction of seeing courage paired with power. Lyra climbed higher, moving with precision. She landed on a rocky outcrop facing the night howler directly. Its glowing eyes locked onto her, its breathing heavy and ragged. Marcus could feel the beast's power waning, yet it was still dangerous. One wrong move could end the hunt, or worse, her life. Lyra's small form glowed faintly in the moonlight, muscles tense and ready. Marcus guided her movements carefully, predicting the night howler's next attack. "Its balance is off," he thought. "Push it forward, make it stumble again." With a quick leap and a powerful thrust of her weapon, Lyra struck the night howler's flank again. The predator roared, staggering, its massive body wobbling dangerously on the cliff's edge. Marcus felt the tension spike. Every second was critical. The night howler lunged one final time, desperate and furious. Lyra dodged, sidestepped, and landed a decisive strike on the predator's head. It teetered, clawing at the rocky ground, then fell backward over the edge, disappearing into the dark chasm below with a final, echoing roar. Lyra fell to her knees, breathing heavily, glowing softly with residual strength. Marcus felt drained as well, but exhilarated. They had done it. Against all odds, the tiny Huntress had defeated the night howler with his help. Lyra looked up at Marcus, her amber eyes filled with gratitude. "I could not have done this without you," she said softly. Marcus smiled, feeling a mix of pride and relief. "You were incredible," he said. "Brave, smart, and faster than anyone I've ever seen." The strength helped, but it was all you. Lyra's small hand reached out and touched his arm lightly. Marcus felt a warmth spread through him, not from the strength, but from the bond they had created. They had faced a nearly impossible challenge together, and they had triumphed. As they rested on the cliff edge, looking down into the dark chasm, Marcus realized this was only the beginning. Zathara was full of dangers, and his connection with Lyra could be the key to surviving what was yet to come. The tiny Huntress, once fragile and small, had shown that courage and determination could surpass any limitation, and Marcus knew he would follow her into whatever came next. The jungle settled into quiet once more, but Marcus and Lyra remained alert, ready for the next challenge. Together they were stronger than any predator, any threat, and any obstacle. And as they sat under the glowing alien trees, a partnership was forged that neither species could have imagined. Human strength combined with alien courage. The morning light filtered through the dense canopy of Zathara, casting shimmering green patterns across the jungle floor. Marcus and Lyra had spent the night recovering from their encounter with the night howler. The predator's roar no longer echoed through the forest, but both knew their journey was far from over. Lyra's people still faced other dangers, and Marcus could feel more challenges awaiting them in the uncharted wilderness. Lyra stood atop a rocky outcrop, the small glow of her scale-like skin reflecting the sun. She looked stronger, braver, and more confident than ever. "We need to return to the colony," she said. her voice firm yet gentle through the translator. "The other hunters need guidance, and my people will not survive without us." Marcus nodded. Though tired from lending his strength, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. This tiny huntress had shown him a new kind of bravery, one that went beyond mere physical strength. Together, they were more than a team. They were a force that could protect an entire species. The journey back to the colony was not simple. The jungle was alive with creatures both curious and dangerous, and Marcus's guidance was crucial. He could feel Lyra's heartbeat, her cautious movements, and even the slight tension in her muscles. Every step they took, every leap over fallen logs or swinging from vines, was a dance of trust and coordination. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from a nearby thicket. Lyra froze, her crystalline weapon raised. Marcus felt her thoughts spike with alertness. Out from the shadows emerged a group of smaller predators, not as formidable as the night howler, but still dangerous. "They are testing us," Lyra whispered. "We must be ready." Marcus guided her through the skirmish, helping her predict each predator's movement. With his human strength flowing through her, Lyra moved faster and struck harder than ever before. She dodged their attacks with grace, using the environment to her advantage, rolling down slopes, leaping over vines, and striking at weak points. Within moments, the predators were subdued, retreating into the jungle. Lyra exhaled, her small chest rising and falling rapidly. "We are getting closer," she said, pointing toward a faint trail of smoke in the distance. "That is the colony. We must hurry." As they approached the settlement, Marcus noticed the devastation caused by previous attacks. Huts had been damaged, and alien flora that the settlers had cultivated lay trampled. The colony's inhabitants, tiny like Lyra, emerged cautiously, their eyes wide with fear and hope. "Lyra," a voice called. One of her kin, a hunter named Riven, ran toward her. "You survived, but what happened to the night howler?" Lyra smiled faintly, exhaustion evident in her posture. "We have defeated it," she said, looking at Marcus. "With his help, we managed to survive the hunt." The colony erupted with a mixture of relief and celebration. Marcus could feel the admiration radiating from them. Though he was human and far larger than any of them, the respect they showed him was genuine. Lyra's courage had inspired her people, and Marcus's willingness to lend his strength had made the impossible possible. Riven approached cautiously. "You lent her your strength?" he asked, awe in his voice. Marcus nodded. "She's brave. She needed help, and I wanted to make sure she survived. Together, we were stronger than any threat." The alien hunters gathered around, listening as Lyra recounted the events of the hunt. Marcus felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Though he had only shared his strength, the results had been extraordinary. The tiny huntress had faced a monster no one else could, and now the colony was safe. But Lyra was not finished. She turned to Marcus, her amber eyes glowing warmly. "We must rebuild," she said, "and prepare. There may be more threats, and I want your guidance if we face them." Marcus smiled. He realized that this was more than just a hunt. It was the beginning of a partnership. "I will help," he said. "As long as you need me, I will be here." Over the following days, Marcus assisted the colony in strengthening their defenses. He shared strategies, trained the hunters in new techniques, and helped repair structures. Lyra worked alongside him, demonstrating how intelligence, courage, and agility could be combined with human strength. The tiny hunters began to adapt quickly, learning to fight as a team with Marcus's guidance and Lyra's leadership. One evening, as the twin suns of Zathara set, casting long shadows over the jungle, Marcus and Lyra stood atop a cliff overlooking the colony. The air was filled with the soft sounds of the night, and the jungle seemed peaceful for the first time in weeks. "You have changed things here," Marcus said quietly, not just with strength but with hope. Lyra nodded, her small hands resting lightly on his arm. "Hope is important. Strength alone is not enough. Courage, trust, and understanding, that is what makes a difference." Marcus looked at her, admiration swelling within him. "You are incredible," he said. "Brave, smart, and determined. I've never met anyone like you." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "And you are more than just strength. You trusted me, guided me, and believed in me. That is why we succeeded." For a moment they stood in silence, watching the lights of the colony flicker below. Marcus felt a sense of fulfillment he had never experienced before. He had shared his human strength with an alien huntress, and together, they had accomplished what no one thought possible. As the night deepened, Lyra turned to Marcus. "There is much more to learn," she said softly. "The jungle is vast and threats may return. But I feel ready, because of you." Marcus smiled, a mixture of pride and warmth filling him. "Then we face them together," he said. "No matter what comes, we face it as a team." The tiny Huntress nodded, and for the first time she allowed herself a moment of calm. Marcus could feel her strength, courage, and determination radiating, now fully integrated with his own. Together they had become more than just a hunter and a guide. They were partners, protectors and friends bound by trust and shared experience. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Marcus realized something profound. Humans were strong, yes, but courage, compassion, and trust could amplify that strength in ways no one could imagine. Lyra had shown him that size did not determine power, and he had shown her that humans could be allies, guides, and companions in even the most impossible challenges. The colony was safe. The night howler defeated, and a new era of hope had begun for Zathara. Marcus and Lyra, united by human strength and alien courage, knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they could face them together. Their bond had been tested, proven, and strengthened by fire, and it was unbreakable. Lyra glanced at Marcus, a faint smile on her small lips. "Thank you," she said simply. Marcus returned her smile. "No, thank you," he replied, "for teaching me what bravery really means." The wind rustled through the trees, carrying with it the quiet promise of more adventures, more challenges, and more opportunities for courage to shine. Marcus and Lyra stood together, ready for whatever the galaxy might throw their way, and in that moment they both knew that together they were unstoppable.